Right, there we go. Okay. Boy, that didn't go great. So what happened there was recorded this whole review only to find out that I never joined the Discord server, therefore nothing got recorded. But here we are, Wrassle Graps video. Welcome. My name is Chris. Just me today. Of course. I don't know if we posted that tweet yet, but in case we didn't, let me just describe real quick what's going on. As you may know, this has been a bit of a lack of content on the channel. And on well, their side has been a bit of a life stuff getting in the way, of course, college. It's hard sometimes with the workload and everything. So for moments notice for a while, we aren't gonna be doing our traditional podcast, which it's unfortunate, but yeah, we'll get back to it soon. But in the meantime, we're gonna do some videos for you guys. We're not gonna leave you completely in the dark. So the first of those videos we recorded a few days ago will be coming out soon, but of course we can't just not talk about WWE Fastlane from 2021 from last night. Yeah, just me today. Just me, of course. Vincent has stuff to take care of. Couldn't make it, unfortunately, but here we are to talk about the show. A show that I think was pretty lackluster. I'm not gonna lie to you. I struggled to get into it. It was a bit of a weird one. Really was. But let's talk about it first, and then we'll get to my thoughts on everything. So, second time's the charm, let's run it back. So, pre-show kicked off a match I didn't see really, but I caught the end of it. Riddle beats Mustafa Ali, retaining his United States Championship, and then Retribution turned on Mustafa Ali. So Retribution is over now. We're not doing that anymore. We are moving on to something. I couldn't tell you what, but good for these guys getting away from this gimmick. Honestly, it was a death sentence for his careers. It's just a good thing that they're gone from it. So honestly, I'm very excited to see what these guys do next. Hopefully, their careers are a little bit better now that they're away from the Retribution gimmick. So for the actual show, kick off with the Women's Tag Team Championship match. So, oh, by the way, forgot. Because this is a very spur of the moment video, my thoughts on Fastlane. I forgot to take notes on it. So I'm using Wikipedia here. It's my unofficial co-host for today's episode. To, get some reminders. So I need them from time to time. But show kicked off the women's tag match. Like I said, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler defending against SmackDown's Women's Champion Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. Gotta get away from the window before I just start reading the whole thing. Yeah, gotta do some of this by myself. So, my thoughts on this match. Let's start with the build. So, when you look at the build for this match, it's really building to Sasha versus Bianca at WrestleMania. And the build for that match has been terrible, unfortunately. Um, Two fantastic wrestlers in Banks and Belair. They're gonna have a great match in Mania. I have no doubt about it. But for right now, they're just in this very unfortunate position where they're doing this terrible feud where they're happy to be friends going at it Mania, and they're going after the tag belts because Banks must be two belts Banks for whatever reason. And frankly, it's not great. But here we are, I guess, doing this match on Fastlane, a rematch previously from Elimination Chamber, if I'm not wrong, or that other Rumble, something like that. But of course, they need to build some dissension between Banks and Belair for Mania, so that's what they did. They had Belair inadvertently break up a pinfall. Uh, Banks got distracted, yelling at Belair, so Banks got rolled up. They lost the match. They argued for a little bit afterwards, and they're gonna have a match in Mania. Is where we are now. Really, they have 2 weeks to salvage this feud. Really, they'll probably fix it by having a great match at Mania. I'm sure they will, but I don't know. I feel like they're making it so much more complicated than they have to. I don't think it's as hard as these that they're making it. They can just go with the easy storyline and that are just Bianca wants to be the EST of WWE, and to be that, she has to beat Sasha Banks, who is the boss. That's really all you have to do. It's fairly simple. I don't know why WWE feel need to complicate things, but it's just the kind of people they are over there. So next up, we get to a segment explaining why Shane McMahon versus Braun Strowman will not be happening. Shane suffered a knee injury. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but yeah, they announced earlier, not them, but it was announced earlier on the week by people that Shane wouldn't be having the match, or that they both wouldn't be having the match. So bottom line is that they had a segment here explaining that Shane's knee is injured. Elias wants to perform WrestleMania, so he comes up to Shane, asks for permission. So Shane says he has an idea, and we'll come back to it later. So next up, we get Biggie and Apollo Cruz in a match that was very disappointing. Not because of the match itself, but because of the ending, which we'll get to in a minute. I was looking forward to this match a lot, to be honest with you. Biggie and Apollo have been killing it with this feud on SmackDown, and they started off this match really good. They started off hot. Biggie hit that awesome spear he does through the ropes, which it's a bit scary looking, but when he does it, and he doesn't. Okay, he got hurt. It's always cool to see. And it's really fiery match back and forth. It was all good until they get to this spot where it's just a bunch of pinfalls back and forth until Biggie apparently gets the pin. And for a minute there, everyone, including myself, including the commentary team, had no idea who won. But Biggie apparently won the match and Apollo Crews attacked him afterwards. Now, this ending, I feel really hurts them because in this match, if you do it, I feel like Apollo Crews really should have won this one. It's his new gimmick and everything. And, you know, this is the sheer nature of what they're doing here. This really should have been a blow off match. Now, if you're looking at things from a 2020 perspective, like we are, not the year, just the saying, this match should have never been on Fastlane. It should have been a Mania. There's no reason it should have been here. It's one of the issues of having a pay per view 2 weeks before WrestleMania. But nonetheless, here we are. I just feel like if you can do this match here, one of these guys had to walk away with a solid win. And doing it like this kind of hurts the feud more than helps it. So expect, of course, this feud to continue 2 weeks on to Mania on either night one or night two. Who knows when. So next up, we get to Shane McMahon in the ring with Elias. Elias wants to perform a little bit, or so Shane could show off his talent to WWE fans. But Shane cuts him off, says he has a better idea. How about Elias takes his place in the match with Braun Strowman they're supposed to have at Fastlane? And before he can say no, Big Brain Shane McMahon gets out of there, and Braun has a very quick squash match where he beats down Elias for a little bit, and he wins. So I didn't see the Raw match that they had. I know it happened. I know it wasn't terrible until the ending, which is a common theme. But so apparently in that show, if you missed it, Raw, uh, they had this fun match that ended with Braun getting put through the table by a Shane elbow, and then Shane, of course, inspired by the Kids' Choice Awards, that I'm assuming happened a night or two before Raw happened, decides to slime Braun Strowman. I don't know what Kids' Choice Award he won, but who knows. So Shane McMahon, of course, catering to the young audience, did that, and now we have this match here. If it was me doing this, I would have just taken this whole thing off the show. You just wasted 10 minutes. You didn't need to doing all this, and that's really where we are with that. So it's just a whole waste of a few minutes. So Braun could pick up a quick win. I guess gain some momentum, but I don't know. Braun's really complicated dude. He never is over, at least not recently. So next up, we see Matt Riddle and Shinsuke Nakamura backstage, and maybe one of the worst backstage segments I've seen in the recent memory. Uh, Riddle talks to Nakamura, and he has this weird rant, of course, leading into the gimmick that he's high. And Nakamura gets out of there, and it's this whole weird thing. It's dumb, but thankfully the match with Seth and Shinsuke, regardless of the fact that there's zero build behind it, was not bad. It was actually pretty good. You know, these two go at it. Seth dominates most of the match until Shinsuke fights back, and they have a whole back and forth for a little bit. But Seth eventually wins, and yeah, it was a really solid match that these two had. The big issue I have with it, like I said before, is that there was really no build to this. Of course, Seth attacked Cesaro, who was Shinsuke's friend, but that's really not too big build or too big of a build, I think. Especially when it's 2 weeks worth of build where you have them on SmackDown come out and Shinsuke cuts up his promo, and I guess that's why Seth was mad at him, and that's why they have this match. But I don't know, I feel like you could have done a better job with that, but otherwise, really enjoyed the match. Next up, we get to Drew McIntyre and Sheamus in a feud that has been 20 years in the making, according to the video package that played before it. Sheamus and Drew had a no holds barred match on this show. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. Of course, if you saw AEW, and I'm not comparing it to them, oh, AEW's better, even though in some cases they are. If you um saw what they did recently in their main event, they had Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker in a fantastic lights out match. So I don't know if it was that I was just expecting this match to live up to that, which I knew it wouldn't. I don't know if it was that or just the fact that I was a little bit tired watching it. I didn't love this match between Drew and Sheamus. I thought it was fine. I I don't have anything against these guys, big respect toward them. Took some awesome spots. Sheamus got put through the LED boards in the Thunderdome, got put through some of the fans. Sheamus hits through an air raid crash through a table. And yeah, they do some cool stuff here. It's just that I don't know, I just wasn't into this. I don't know what it is, but like I said, good on the performers for really putting in the work there. Of course, Sheamus lost to Drew. You, of course, seen the victory going into Mania against Bobby Lashley, a match that I am very much looking forward to. If you remember back last year, those two had a great match at Fastlane. Not Fastlane. Backlash from last year. And it's only really ruined by a lot of stuff, but now that that stuff's gone, I feel like these two could have a great match. So, moving on to a match that people universally seem to not be a fan of. Well, match, if you want to call it match. Orton versus Alexa Bliss. Boy, this is an interesting one to talk about because it was just 5 minutes of weird stuff, which was expected. But even expecting all the weird stuff, I still didn't see all of it coming somehow. Um, you can try to figure that one out for yourselves. I don't know how I didn't see it coming, but that's on me. So match starts and Orton immediately is spitting up that black liquid that Alexa Bliss tried to drown him with a few weeks ago. Bliss used her telekinesis that I guess she has to make a lighting rig almost fall on Randy Orton. To which Randy Orton asked if Alexa was trying to kill him, which I feel like it should be pretty obvious she's been trying for a few weeks now. So get with the game, Randy. Um, Orton somehow dodged a fireball, which was impressive, I guess. And this match really comes to an end where the Fiend comes out to the ring canvas looking all burnt up and disgusting. And Alexa pushes Orton into a Sister Abigail. Alexa pins him. And that's that. So, two things before I give you my thoughts on this. Um, so, the Fiend's new attire, what do I think of it? I really don't want to judge it yet, just because I couldn't see it all that well with the lighting. I want to wait till we get more of a clear look at it and to really cast my judgment. Because what I saw, I think it's kind of cool, but I don't want to say that and see it in like a better like lighting kind of area. And they'd be like, no, I don't know about it. Yeah, so we're gonna wait on that. Also, when I was watching this match, I was also listening to the CM Pulse watch along for it. And you guys watch him, he's a great YouTuber. So we was doing a watch along for this, of course, and then we get to the pinfall moment, where Alexa pins Randy Orton by sitting directly onto his crotch. And hearing the comments on his stream was hilarious. I'm not gonna lie to you. I got distracted for most of the rest of the show listening to those comments because they were hilarious. I could not stop laughing at them. But man, what an awkward way to pin somebody. And frankly, I think that's what some people remember this match for, judging by that chat and that stream. And yeah, that happened. Definitely happened. Make of that what you will. I'm not gonna comment further on the fact by saying that it happened. We're gonna leave it there. We're not gonna make a big deal out of this. We're just gonna say it happened. And we're gonna move on and be adults about this. We're just gonna move forward. Okay. Okay. Cool. So my thoughts on this match is just I don't think it needs to be a whole thing. I think you could have really just had Orton do his entrance, have the lights go out. Alexa's on the Titantron. She's doing some weird magic stuff. The Fiend comes out of the ring apron like he originally did. Takes down Orton. I think it's really all you needed. I don't think you need to do the match at all, really. So, frankly, I saw this was really kind of weird. The magic stuff was dumb, as you'd expect. But I thought the Fiend reveal was cool, and the Alexa pin gave me a laugh, so I guess there's that. So, main event time. Roman Reigns took on Daniel Bryan. Edge, of course, special guest enforcer, not the special guest referee. So I assumed he would have been. I don't know why I thought that, but here we are. He is the enforcer, not the ref. Until later, we'll get to that. So these two had a 30-minute match in the main event, and honestly, it wasn't bad. It didn't feel like 30 minutes. Beginning was a little bit slow, of course, more technical stuff, but as it went on, it got better. Daniel Bryan had a couple of cool hope spots, until eventually we get to what starts off the ending here. Bryan goes for the running knee. Roman dodges out of the way, and Bryan hits a ref by accident, knocks him down. Reigns hits a spear on Bryan, so Edge has to come in, count the pin. 1, 2, kicks out. Roman's arguing with Edge, but he gets over it eventually. These two wrestle for a little bit more. Bryan gets in the yes lock. Jey Uso comes out with a chair, swings at Edge, takes him down, tries to take down Daniel Bryan. Bryan dodges it, takes down Jey Uso, grabs the chair. He goes to hit Roman, accidentally hits Edge because Roman's just very good at dodging things apparently. So he hits Roman. He puts him in the yes lock. Roman's in the yes lock for a little bit. Edge gets up, of course, very upset about being hit with a chair, as most people would be, and hits Bryan with the chair, hits Roman with the chair, walks out. A new ref comes in. Roman pins Bryan. Roman retains. Of course, leads to a triple threat match at Mania, I'm assuming. It's the only logical way to do this going forward, I think. But, yeah, so that's Fastlane. A very interesting show, to say the least, like I said. If you saw it, I don't think you're any better off for it. I don't think we're any worse off for it. If you missed it, same thing. I don't think you're worse or better off for it. Some of the matches weren't great, especially in the first hour. The best matches, I'd say, were thumbs up. There's something like crazy you have to go on your way to see here. I think besides the Fiend coming back to life and the fact that the main event between Roman and Edge will become a triple threat, I think those are the only newsworthy things you gotta take away. So I'm gonna give it a thumbs in the middle for being a show that happened that was not terribly offensive. So that's Fastlane for you. Now, like I said, we're of course working on some new videos for you guys. It's going to be a little bit different going forward until we can find the time to bring back the podcast side of things. So hopefully you guys will stick with us. Hopefully me awkwardly trying to get through this without a co-host wasn't too bad for you guys. But yeah, thank you for joining us. Or joining me, I guess there is. Well, I mean Craig's here and Garrick is here, so thank you for joining us. And yeah, remember to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that fun stuff. Support our podcasts, platforms, everything like that. Leave a like, subscribe, and yeah, thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you soon, hopefully.